let's get into some of these Q and pseudo Q people. So, the Capitol insurrection attempt, Capitol riots, whatever you want to call them, I would go with insurrection attempt, have birthed many more conspiracy theories from people who are either QAnon followers or Q adjacent. QAnon, of course, for those who don't know, sure, you can call it a terrorist attack too, that would also work. QAnon people are people who believe that an anonymous government entity known as Q, or individual within the government, named after the supposed Q-level clearance that they have, is claiming that the government is full of secret, democratic, satanic pedophiles that are abusing children to basically crack them open and harvest a chemical called adrenochrome from their brains, and that, like, all missing children are caused by these people. And that Donald Trump is secretly a really great moral person who was working to destroy the deep state to stop these secret satanic pedophiles. It's all gobbledygook nonsense, obviously. It's all completely ridiculous stuff, but people believe it nonetheless. And now that we're getting closer to Trump being taken out of office because he lost the election, many of them are stretching quite far to try and reconcile their beliefs with reality. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Hello, everyone. It's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So I wanted to jump on here real quick. I was going to do a show a little bit later. Jay Campbell and I, of course, are doing a show this afternoon at 6. And we have, in the Optimized Tribe tomorrow, we have a very special guest Monday night. So you guys don't want to miss that, the Optimized Tribe. So you can think of all the guests that I've had that are like pretty high-speed guests. Think of it like the guy that talks about things that go on behind the scenes. He's going to be in the Optimized Tribe. So you guys want to sign up for that. You want to be in the Optimized Tribe on Monday night. All right. There's many different programs for you guys to get in and see that show. It's coming up. So what's going on right now? The Insurrection Act has been signed by President Trump. It's been confirmed by...
No, it hasn't. There's been absolutely no confirmation to any sort of effect similar to that. This is entirely based off posts on places like 4chan and the Donald.win and the Great Awakening.win, basically QAnon bullshit sources.
Many different people, military guys are going in, have been recalled. So a lot of people are reporting on this. So multiple different sources that I watch and listen to. And basically I've been hearing a lot of stuff from my contacts and so forth. So looks like it's done. It's on. So what is Insurrection Act? What does it mean? I'm not an expert in it, but what I can tell you is basically what that does is it puts the control of the country in the military's hands. All right. And President Trump is the head of the military. Right?
The military has already said earlier this year, prior to the election, they said that, that's not going to happen. They said it's not their job to interfere in elections, and they're not going to do so for shits and giggles, basically. So none of that's true. Donald Trump has not signed any sort of martial law thing. The military is not taking control of the country. None of that's true.
All right. So he's the commander-in-chief. So things had to move this way, guys. We know that. I think the reason why it happened this quickly was because they're going to try and impeach him or do Article 25 on him.
They're probably going to try and impeach him. I don't think it'll be successful, although it'd be pretty amazing if Donald Trump became the first president not only to be impeached twice, but the first president to actually be removed from office. That'd be beautiful. I don't think it'll happen, but it would be cool. And he would deserve it. Again, let me be clear. Donald Trump would deserve it for inciting riots and inciting an attempted insurrection on the United States government to try and keep him in power. He deserves it. If Donald Trump, and here's the thing, I don't think Donald Trump will get removed for this. Meaning, there's basically nothing you can do as the president to ever get removed. If you can attempt using stochastic terrorism to get people to try and overthrow democracy, and you don't get removed from office, no one's getting removed from office.
Get him out of office because they know the hammer is about to fall on their heads. So he had to up it really quick. You guys have been watching me on Facebook and so forth. I put out yesterday that get your supplies ready, get ready, it's coming, and here we are. So I said, I even had the intuition that about 2 days out, about 2 days ago, it was going to drop. So I guess it dropped last night around midnight. So probably Pence is gone. He basically showed his hand.
Pence is a bad dude, but he also ended up doing his constitutional duty, which is the bare minimum, by the way. I'm not giving him kudos for doing his job, but he did do his job. He came in, and he was the ceremonial head of counting the electoral votes and helping certify them, and he did his job. All these people think that's tantamount to treason because he didn't, again, try and foment some sort of insurrection against President Trump. But don't worry, Trump tried it anyway, and it failed. Good job, Trump. Trump is the only person, I think, who can both bankrupt a casino and also attempt and fail to do a coup of the United States government. It's an interesting combo. It's a lot of failure, that's all I'm saying.
We'll probably have Mike Flynn come in, and he will be the vice president. That's just my guess.
Fun fact, if you remove the vice president for some reason, and by the way, the president isn't really allowed to unilaterally fire the vice president. That's not how it works. I'm pretty sure they have to be impeached, similarly to the president. But even if Donald Trump somehow got Pence to resign or something, or he was arrested for some reason, Congress, Senate specifically, has to vote on who gets appointed as the new VP. You can't just unilaterally decide someone's the VP. It's not how it works.
Some other people were saying the same thing. I said it earlier. I know you guys want to see JFK Jr. come back in. He's going to come back in eventually.
I need to explain the JFK Jr. thing in case people don't know. So QAnon people, again, it's sort of like certain religions in that there's different sects that believe different things, but there are certain people in QAnon that believe that JFK Jr., who died in 1999 or something like that in a plane crash, they believe that he's actually been hiding out and had faked his own death in order to, I don't know, somehow help Donald Trump 20 years later win an election and then come back so he can be the president or something. I don't know. It's a whole thing. Either way, it's not true. JFK Jr. died in a plane crash in 1999. It's not a conspiracy. He's just dead.
The situation has to be under control because they would definitely go after him heavy if he shows back up again. You guys know that. So that's what we're going to start to do. So we'll start to see some of those people that have been doing bad stuff, that have already been arrested. We're going to start to see, I believe, an emergency broadcast, because I think we're going to see that coming very soon. The emergency broadcast will start out. They'll start out just a few, and then they'll get hot and heavy, and then there'll be more and more revealed in those emergency broadcasts. And the reason why it has to be an emergency broadcast is because basically the press is completely corrupted. Social media has shut down President Trump. They're not reporting anything on President Trump right now.
They're definitely reporting on President Trump, but they're probably not just repeating things he says because he's a known liar who also, again, riled his supporters up to insurrection and they don't want to give him platforms right now to try and stir up more shit. That would be why. It's also why his Twitter got removed, because he was inciting violence there too by spreading baseless conspiracy theories about the election.
Even though supposedly he has just a little over a week away, they're moving rapidly to take him out. Nancy Pelosi saying that she's talking to military hierarchy to make sure he doesn't use the codes or whatever. So it had to happen quick, guys. It had to come down because these guys are pulling out all the stops, obviously.
That's in reference to Nancy Pelosi apparently speaking with the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the various branches of the military and basically saying, hey, if Trump tries to launch a nuke, please stop him, which is not a thought you'd ever want to have. Oh, no, we have to stop the president from launching a nuke. I just wish it was the 20th already.
That a lot of stuff has been revealed. When they had their Antifa goons go in and I have many different sources that are confirming Antifa did do that raid and were allowed in.
Again, he's falsely claiming that the terrorist attack, insurrection, coup, attempt, riot, whatever, at the Capitol building, he's claiming that it was Antifa and not Trump supporters. Again, myself and a lot of people here, because we did a 6-hour stream while that was happening, watched live as they did it. We could hear all the conversations everyone was having. They were Trump supporters. Since then, they've been arrested, many of them, and have been identified as Trump supporters. The guy with the buffalo headdress was discovered to be a QAnon follower. These are Trump supporters doing things in the name of Donald Trump. Own your own shit, guys. Stop coming up with conspiracy theories because you don't like that you got caught trying to overthrow the U.S. government, you absolute losers.
By people that were paid off, allowed into the Capitol building. When they made that raid, there were some other people that were in that group. So we know, we've been saying that Antifa has...
Why does he say Antifa so weird? Antifa.
Been infiltrated, right, by military groups. And they were with that group, and they seized a lot of laptops. And those laptops basically have lots of information on them. Nancy Pelosi's laptop and so forth. So
again, there was some reporting early on that it was Nancy Pelosi's laptop that got stolen, but I'm pretty sure it was a staffer's laptop, not hers. So even his information here, I think, is incomplete.
Learned about, basically the Chinese. Basically, we know the Democrats have basically sold out to the Chinese a long time ago. So that's been revealed. Social media sold out to the Chinese, so forth. So all of this stuff is popping. It's going to pop fast, guys.
That doesn't even make sense. Why would social media sell out to China? It's not like Twitter exists in China or that Facebook exists in China. They have no reason or financial incentive to work with a foreign government that won't allow them into their country.
It's going to come at you very hard and heavy. We've been talking about, they've been preparing for you guys for this, and here it is. So hopefully you get lots of good popcorn, and you want to get the seasoning you put on the popcorn, maybe some spicy seasoning, maybe some sweet, because this is a sweet revenge that we're going to have some sweet seasoning as you're watching and listening, because everybody's going to be riveted, I believe, to the emergency broadcast system, because they've been testing it, getting ready, because they knew this was going to happen. So the Vatican went dark for like 8 hours. The Pope, I've been hearing, has been arrested.
What? He thinks the Pope has been arrested? The U.S. government doesn't have authority to arrest the Pope, right? The Pope lives in the Vatican, which is a sovereign nation. You can't go into the Vatican and arrest the Pope. What are you talking about?
For pedophilia and so forth. We saw Pakistan go dark. Pakistan was going to be the place where they're going to do dirty deals, sell General Electric. General Electric was going to be sold to the Chinese with all of their military technology. This is something Democrats have been doing for a long time, selling out America to the Chinese for money, right? So,
whereas Republicans definitely didn't enjoy free markets and enjoy outsourcing labor to China and other countries to make capitalists happy. Not at all.
So a lot of people are going to be taken down in also in Germany. The lights went out in Germany. Italy, looks like the Italian government might be completely taken down. So we're seeing a lot of stuff going on. That's going, like I said, it's going to happen.
He thinks the entire government of Italy has been taken down and somehow that news hasn't broken. Cool.
And heavy. All right. So that's all I'm going to put out right now. I'll probably come back a little while later. So I drove like crazy across country from Washington, D.C. I knew this was going to go down. I could feel it. I knew I needed to get back, so I drove almost 2 days nonstop to get here, my home, and right across country. So 3,000 miles, over 3,000 miles in a couple days, because I'm like Navy SEAL Hell Week crazy like that, because I can go into cyborg mode. So that's what I did, and so here I am back here, pretty much rested up. It seems like I've only need like a few hours of sleep because I haven't been working out. So now I'm going to go hit the gym, work off some good energy, come back here, give you guys some more information because I do a little research while I'm in the gym, and then come back here. I've already put some stuff together, and basically get you guys seeing a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, and put it together for you. All right, lots of love out there, guys. Stay in love vibration, quantum level consciousness. This dark energy is collapsing. You don't want to be rooted or connected to any of that stuff. Now,
we already had a word salad, right? Yeah, we already had that. Just checking.
I'll bring up a lot of stuff later to try and get you guys up to speed on what's going on with this quantum shift of consciousness. So it's beautiful. It's something we're waiting for.
We got to keep an eye on this guy to see what he does as, the 20th gets closer and finally passes and none of this crazy shit happens. What's he going to do? Is he going to be like, oh, I was wrong. Whoopsie. I doubt it. He's clearly going to just be like, no, I was right for reasons. That'll be interesting. So we'll keep an eye on this guy. Let's see what other QAnon type stuff people have been saying.
Anyway, so I plan on me being here tonight, but I wanted to tell you one of the things that came out today was that if you've seen Simon Park's video, hopefully most of you have gone to his channel. That's Simon, S-I-M-O-N, last name Parks, P-A-R-K-E-S. Simon Parks on YouTube. They had an interesting show today. It didn't quite ring with my spirit that this was going to happen today, but I could be wrong. They were saying, and I'm a little confused with the video, they were saying either YouTube and the other social medias were all going to go down today, or mainstream media was going to go down today.
This is a part of this is a part of some QAnon stuff too. They believe that there's going to be 10 days of darkness. This is something that had been brought up throughout the tenure of QAnon up until today. It really ramped up in the last, couple weeks though, and they're running out of time for this 10 days of darkness for things to start get going and for Trump to start to do stuff. We don't even have 10 days anymore. A lot of them thought it was going to start on the 10th. Between the 10th and the 20th would be the 10 days of darkness. But of course that hasn't happened, and some of them are very concerned why things aren't happening. But yeah, that's in relation to this. They think everything's going to go dark. They think news media is going to get shut off. They think online's going to get shut off. None of that has happened, and it's not going to happen.
And that doesn't quite, again, I depend a lot on what I feel in my spirit nowadays. It didn't quite ring.
Speaking of which, QAnon claimed as a source on the... oh, wait, did we already do QAnon claimed as a source? Let me look. QAnon claimed as a source. He's not directly saying it, but that's QAnon. So.
Right with me. I think Simon was right. He heard it was probably going to happen Wednesday, and I think that's probably right. So I do expect to be able to broadcast to you tonight at 7 o'clock Mountain. But if not, get on GitHub.
Is this just Christine's dimensional merge? I would be... If I saw two competing news stories come on the air at the same time, and one of them was, QAnon was right, and Donald Trump is taking down a cabal of secret pedophiles, and the other one was, the dimensional merge is happening, Christine Weston Chandler was right all along, I would more easily believe that Christine Weston Chandler was right and the dimensional merge is upon us than I would that QAnon's real. I'm not even exaggerating. Because at least Christine put, like, time and work into her imaginary bullshit. QAnon's just lazy. I don't know.
Am spelled correctly on there, Mr. Thrive and Survive all together, just like my channel is here on YouTube.
Fryserburn says, bingo. Let's take a look. Gay agenda, word salad, Illuminati, QAnon, spurious symbology. You got it. Congrats. Fryserburn. Oopsie. That's not what I wanted to do. I need to gift you a sub. You already have a sub. Okay, let me write your name down on the bingo thing. Take my gloves off for this. She didn't. It was fed to her by a pair of trolls. Well, she's running with it, so. But that's you know, that's Christine Weston Chandler lore that we don't really talk about on this channel, so.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Congrats, Fryserburn. Good job. So that's our bingo winner for the day. We can keep playing for fun, but that's the free subscription winner. Just gotta get my gloves back on and we'll continue.
It is all spelled correctly. It's a picture of me. I don't have the icon of the tree, the green tree yet, but it's just a picture of me, and so you'll be able to see it's me on GitHub. So app.github.com, and that's GETHUB. And so
Daddy
expect me
Sume
tonight
asks if he's on the
at
list.
the usual time, assuming everything is still going on. And
you're not on my
so
list.
just wanted to pass that along again.
I don't know if you won Chud
They
Bingo at
must know
some
that
point,
GitHub is
and
going
the
to be
other
one of the ones
person
not
should be
taking
keeping
down.
track of
That's why
that.
they're going there. So that's why I'm saying go there. I hate being on any of them, but just
New York Times and CNN are reporting that there may be 67 senators in favor of impeachment. Ooh. That would be good.
going to, having to go from Twitter to Parler to wherever, now GitHub. That's just the way it is, and for those who think, oh, there's nothing going on.
Who's in charge of
all
Chud
this?
Bingo? Is it normally Mitchell? Maybe Mitchell Drummer is usually in charge, I think, of Chud Bingo.
Happening? And to me, the biggest proof that something is still going on is, again, follow Mike Pompeo, which is, I think it's under Secretary Pompeo, Mike Pompeo or something like that, on Twitter. He is still posting every 30 minutes, right on the dot, 30 minutes apart. He missed one today, but he was live. I watched to see if he was going to tweet while he was live, because he couldn't tweet because he was talking to, he had an interview today, and he missed that tweet. And so I was thinking somebody else was actually controlling his Twitter account anyway to make sure that 30 minutes was happening. But it might actually be him. But he's posting just innocuous, bland stuff usually every 30 minutes. So the countdown is still going. To me, we're not close enough yet for the big takedown and the emergency alert system being activated. That's when we're going to see his, probably tweeting every 5 minutes something. So get on GitHub if you want to follow what's going on. Evidently,
What is GitHub? I don't even know what GitHub is. Someone want to explain GitHub to me?
we'll still be able to communicate there because that's where Trump is going to be talking from as of tomorrow morning.
This was 23 hours ago, and as far as I know, Donald Trump hasn't gotten any on something called GitHub. Oh, it's for sharing code? Why does he think Donald Trump is using GitHub as a social media platform?
And that's about it. That's all I wanted to do. I'm going to no results for GitHub. I don't know if I could do this while I'm talking to you guys, but you can find it. Trust me. I just searched for GitHub, and it took me to app.github. I think it was app.github.com. And heard the military wanted to wanted a deal to carry out the Insurrection Act. Is it Cloud Hub? Wait a minute.
Clout Hub, so he was misspeaking. What's Clout Hub? Let me take a look. I gotta get some sparkly fingerless gloves so I can type with them on. Clout Hub. So, social networking. Oh, that's a very inviting page. It's not. Okay, download Clout Hub today. Available for desktop, Apple, Android devices. Clout Hub is a next-generation social network for social, civic, and political networking. We empower our members to connect, collaborate, and influence the issues they care about. We're on a mission to help change the world by giving everyone a platform to have their voice heard where everyone can make a difference. Okay, so they're trying to be like a social media network that's like free speech. You can come and organize riots on our platform. Bad looking website. Not very inviting for that sort of thing, but I'm sure a bunch of right-wing people will use it.
Good question. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can do that while I'm talking to you. I can't. Anyway, I'll have clarification by the time I come on tonight. You'll know what it is exactly for sure. In fact, I'll have the link for everybody. And armed protesters are coming. If nothing happens, if they don't think anything's happening, it'll happen. Yeah, maybe it is Clout Hub. I can't remember. But, so just wanted to give you that update in case something does happen. I don't think it's going to happen today where they take everything down, but you never know. It will come. I just don't see it today. But the military doesn't. The military isn't totally involved. It's just the special forces. Go back and look at how everything was reorganized from the election onward. It's the special forces reporting directly to Christopher Miller, and there's no. The CIA doesn't know what's going on in the FBI. Any of the other 9 or 8 or whatever, 15, 30,000 we don't know about. Intelligence agencies, they were all cut out of the loop. Now we know why. It's Cloud Hub. Thank you, Flaming Star, I think is what it says. But if I'm on the wrong one, I'll go and get on Cloud Hub. Whatever it is, I got there and it's I'm in there. Can anybody get in and see if they can see me there on Cloud Hub? Maybe it is Cloud Hub. But things have been going so fast and furious today that I don't even know what I signed up on. There's both Cloud Hub and GitHub. Interesting. I will verify the one that is going to be on there for that Trump is going to start tweeting as of tomorrow morning. I heard 9 a.m. impeachment starts, but Trump will get them all. Pazzo Man, good to see you. Lunderground, good to see you. Yeah, I did say GitHub, Lunderground, and that's maybe it is Cloud Hub. So I'll have to fix everything, but tonight you'll know. So look for 7 o'clock.
Boomer vibes.
Give me a little time, a little leeway tonight. I need to prepare some stuff, mostly for my dog, to make sure we don't run out of stuff, because I think we are running out of time, and we may end up with, not that there's insurrection in our neighborhood or anything like that, but there may be areas that are shut down temporarily, and or you're just not going to want to go out while this is going down. Hello, UK. Tony, I think I'm reading that. Okay, everything's a big blur, guys. Sorry.
Isn't it wild that these people are LARPing so hard that they've completely bought into their own bullshit? Like, it's not just about them believing a lie. It's them believing a lie so thoroughly that they feel that they need to actually prepare emergency rations because they think Donald Trump is going to take command of the military unilaterally and overthrow the U.S. government. And this guy is talking about it in a monotone fashion on YouTube, sitting in his car, and he's just like, yeah, now we're gonna go get supplies because there's gonna be an overthrow of the U.S. government. Like, what? Like, it's not true, but if any of this was true, this wouldn't be the attitude you should affect. Like, you should not have this blasé, whatever attitude about democracy being overthrown in a military coup.
He might be on Gab, I don't know, but this came from Dan Scavino, and he said as of tomorrow morning, whatever it is, Cloud Hub or GitHub, that's where Trump is going to be, and that tells me that isn't going to be taken down. Gab is super slow. Yeah, everybody's jumping over there now. Gab, they were the smart ones. They're the ones that didn't go on Amazon server, whatever. They built their own infrastructure, which is fantastic. That's great. Anyway, this is going to wake everybody up too, not to depend on people like Amazon or whatever for your server. And it's going to start brand new industries where people are going to say, hey, this is all independent. And maybe even they'll have these little kits. You want your own server? Here it is, and you're not dependent on anybody. Of course,
The server maintenance necessary to... The server maintenance and the size of server that would be necessary to run something like a Twitter alternative where you're having millions and millions of users, many hundreds of thousands of concurrent users, it's probably not the most economically viable solution to buy your own servers and have them hosted in your own building. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like a solution that would be very good for most startups.
anybody can take down, if you're high enough up, you can take down anything, I would think. Trump is already on Gab. Okay, cool. But keep looking at Pompeo. It's like @SecPompeo on Twitter. He's still at the 30-minute deltas in between his tweets, which tells me, I think the first time he did it was the kickoff to the operation. It was 30 minutes and 15 and then 5. And then I think that's when the Insurrection Act was signed to kick everything off. This time I think is when we get into phase 2, and whatever that is, that's when you go beyond command and control, where you really take over command and control. And I think that's what he's counting down to now, but he's still remaining 30 minutes exactly in between tweets. 33 thumbs up. I wonder when I see the thumbs up. Now it's 35, 37. Awesome. You guys are good.
Ugh, I can't stand boomers doing camera stuff.
3, that type of thing. That's just the way it is.
Okay, we get car guy. We get car guy's thing. Let's move on to the next guy. We're still doing, like, QAnon-related stuff. Let's see. What's this guy think? We've covered this guy a couple times before. He believes QAnon stuff. He thinks Tom Hanks is a secret pedophile. He's an anti-vaxxer, all sorts of stuff.
Man, what's going on, everybody? It is I am Weed for the 713. We're back with another episode. And today we're going to talk about something y'all been wanting me to talk about, all right? I mean, we're just going to jump right into it, guys. Y'all been messaging me saying, Mo, how come you haven't talked about the whole Capitol thing? What's going on in the Capitol? I mean, obviously, chaos has ensued.
Oh, God. Daddy Sume says, Hannah, if you want to scream, look at why Belle Delphine is trending on Twitter. She's done something really effed up. All right. We'll take a quick break to look at what the heck Belle Delphine has done. Oh, God. What has that... She's the bathwater girl, right? She did the gamer bathwater or whatever. You guys can't see the screen, right? No, okay. I'm not gonna show you guys, okay? Belle Delphine. Oh no. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, God. Yeah, I think it would be TOS of me just to describe what it is, so... Yeah, no, Oh, God. Oh, no, there's pictures. Oh, fuck. What the? Oh, Bell, no. Nope. 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 I'm not gonna kink shame anyone in the privacy of their own home, and I'm in favor of people doing sex work if that's something they want to do, but that's too far. That's gonna be a yikes for me, dog. Oof. Back to the conspiracies.
And, people have barged into the Capitol. I believe some lady, there was a video circling around where a lady got shot in the face or in the neck or something like that. And there's a lot of sketchy videos going on, man. It's just, I sit back and just look at all the BS that's going on and unfolding, reflecting on everything that's been going on from 2020 and now 2021. People thought it was going to be a better year, but obviously it's just, the BS is continuing, man. It's just history repeating itself over again. And I'm going to give you my thoughts, all right? That's all I can do. I'm going to give you my opinion of everything that's going on. Obviously, President Trump right now, if you haven't seen the recent news, he was banned from Twitter, banned from Facebook. And now I think this app, the app Parler, Google has suspended or deleted it from the Play Store. It's just kind of like a different type of Twitter, if y'all don't know. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion of everything, all right? Obviously, what's going on right here, the media, it's just a big psyop, man. I mean, the CIA is obviously involved with everything. I mean, they're playing something above chess. I mean, we're trying to look for chess pieces. They're playing a whole new ball game because...
No, it's not. And hey, I don't like the CIA either. I don't like the FBI. I recognize that these organizations have done real sketch stuff. I recognize that, okay? What we are seeing right now has nothing to do with these alphabet agencies, okay? It has nothing to do with the three-letter agencies. This has to do with the President of the United States inciting violence in his hardcore base because he doesn't like that he lost an election, so he promoted unfounded conspiracy theories for months, making them believe that democracy in the United States had been subverted by Democrats, thus causing them, in fact, to go and attempt to subvert democracy by attacking the Capitol building in the stupidest terrorist attack I've ever seen. I don't know what even to say to people like this, who are so out of touch with reality that they get to this level of delusion. I don't know. I really don't.
They've been planning this shit for over 30 years.
They will stop at nothing to complete their toolkit of control, right? So one of the things that has been missing from the toolkit of total control has been quarantines and curfews, right? So now, welcome to the new world in America, where to get on a bus, to go through a subway station, if you think that the procedures at the TSA are onerous, right? Guess this is coming to a bus depot near you. It's a more invasive way, and the ruling class needs this because, let me say, if the ruling class ever saw wide-scale civil unrest, you'd see an Ebola outbreak in America right away.
Okay, so this is what you see is that Ebola is
another tool in the toolbox of the ruling class
repression,
control. Yeah,
to keep down
absolutely,
repression.
positively, 100%. This is a tool.
Right.
Ebola doesn't just magically start spreading, and then we have this doctors that come back here. The white people, of course, live. The two whites who got it survived. All the black people that get it die. Right? It's very...
The reason minority populations tend to be harder hit by things like disease, coronavirus, we see the same thing with coronavirus, is because their access to healthcare statistically tends to be worse because of the disparity between incomes of white people and black people in the United States, because we're still dealing with the fallout of slavery and Jim Crow and pre-civil rights era stuff and all that sort of bullshit, right? It's not a conspiracy in the way that these people think conspiracies work. It's systematic racism, but it's not a conspiracy in the sense that there's a bunch of people darkly lit in a room going, ha ha ha, how do we, destroy, black people? It's not how it works. It's more nefarious than that, in that it's a bunch of people working independently towards systems that disenfranchise certain individuals.
possible that one of these NGOs over there is going around with a veil of Ebola or spreading it from a small plane onto villages. The point is to get hundreds of thousands of people infected with it and create the next phase of control. Now, one of the things I'd like to show to back up my my claims here. Here's a document from the Rockefeller Foundation. Rockefeller Foundation right there. You can zoom in on that.
Baked Alaska's on the FBI's most wanted list. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
My finger is. It's called Scenarios for the Future International Development, the Rockefeller Foundation. All right? Okay, let's take a look at what they're saying here. This is something like a 50, 60-page document. I'd like you to go to page 18, if you can look at this up on the internet, but I'll read it up here. It's called lockstep, lockstep. And this is a phrase that I used right after 2001 when I saw the entire system of the United States, including the population, were in lockstep. So the Congress went along, and yes, it was Osama bin Laden, and the people waved their flag and said, I hate, 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 and everything was in lockstep. Well, in 2010, they published this, Rockefeller Foundation, and here's what they're saying. They're saying that they call it a scenario. These are scenario narratives, and they speak about it in the past tense. So they put out this scenario, lockstep. A world of tighter, top-down government control and more authoritarian leadership with limited innovation and growing citizen pushback. Okay?
I assume it's what they do. I assume this organization tries to go through hypotheticals to see how they would respond to said situations. I imagine there's probably hundreds of these, and he happened to pick out this one and is like, well, look at this one. The idea of lockdowns and quarantines is not a new one. We've had them in the past due to previous pandemics and stuff. So the idea that someone would notice this and recognize that in certain situations, that could be something that's necessary for public health, that's not crazy.
I'll read a little bit of it. In 2012, the pandemic that the world had been anticipating for years, nobody was anticipating a pandemic.
What? What are you talking about? The world is always anticipating pandemics. Like, we knew that at some point, and even after the coronavirus is done, after we deal with this by producing enough of the vaccine and giving it to other people, that doesn't mean it's the end of disease. We will always assume that there'll be another pandemic someday, whether it's next year or 5 years or 10 years or 100 years from now. At some point, there'll be some other virulent disease that's out there and it's destructive to communities and people and it'll become a public health risk and they'll have to go through stuff again. It wouldn't surprise me if in the 2100s there's some other sort of disease. I don't know if it'll be a virus or a bacteria, who knows, whatever it's gonna be, and they'll still be anti-masker idiots doing the same shit over and over again because humanity is stupid and we never learn our lessons.
Finally hit. Unlike 2009's H1N1, this new influenza strain originating from wild geese, they use some scenario, but this is Ebola they're talking about.
Ahead.
Even the most pandemic
He says that so weird.
prepared nations were quickly overwhelmed when the virus streaked around the world, infecting nearly 20% of the global population and killing 8 million in just 7 months, the majority of them healthy young adults. The pandemic also had a deadly effect on economies. You can see that agenda, just naked, raw, naked control agenda.
What? It's them just talking about the impact of a disease outbreak. And they were right. The same thing happened with coronavirus. There was health risks, killed a lot of people, and it leads to economic downturn. That's not nefarious. It's an accurate description of what happens when global pandemics get out of hand.
Written down, and it's anybody's guess how this becomes effectuated in real life. So whether this is written specifically as marching orders or whether people take it upon themselves in the intelligence networks to say, okay, well, this has been produced, so this is the plan here. But these narratives have to be written in advance because the intelligence agencies don't know how to do these narratives. They need help. So these think tanks, they come up with these like Rand Corporation, Rockefeller Foundation. These are think tanks of death. They're not the think tanks, they're not there to find...
It sounds like they're think tanks trying to come up with scenarios of potential situations that the world might face and trying to come up with, okay, how is this probably going to go down which isn't an unreasonable thing to do. In a complicated global society, you should be able to look at hypothetical scenarios, whether it's terrorist attacks growing to be more common, the rise of authoritarianism, disease, economic downturn. You should have plans in place, or at least be able to predict what is going to happen so you can effectively combat these situations. It's not nefarious, it's being responsible and recognizing that human beings should be able to try and see what's coming up ahead of them on the road before they get right up to it and crash. That's reasonable.
Great ways to help people. Right.
I gotta take these goggles off. They're giving me a headache. Whew, that probably screwed up my hair real bad. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that's terrible. We try. You know.
The pandemic also had a deadly effect on economics. International mobility of both people and goods screeched to a halt, right? Which is what they want. They want a completely isolated world, right?
It's not them wanting it, it's them predicting what would happen. And again, I need to point this out. They were right! This is exactly describing how coronavirus is played out. They accurately predicted what would happen in the event of some sort of pandemic. And you're like, oh, it's nefarious, they meant it to happen. No, it's their job to come up with, if this happens, what will happen and what will the impact be. And they accurately did so. It's not them saying, we want to do this, it's them saying, if this happens, here's what the results will be.
Debilitating industries like tourism and breaking global supply chains. Well, of course they want tourism stopped because they're not in the tourism business, and they want you at home in your house in front of the TV. Then they got you, because once you watch the TV, they own your soul. Even locally.
Wait a second, we're on television.
I mean commercial television, let's say. National. Even locally, normally bustling shops and offices sat empty for months. Okay, so I love how they talk about it in the past tense in 2010. Right? The pandemic blanketed the planet, though disproportionate numbers in Africa died. Southeast Asia and Central America, where the virus spread like wildfire.
It sounds like the opening monologue of a disaster movie, right?
Exactly. Now listen, here's the good stuff now. But even in developed countries, containment was a challenge. Now here's this one. I love this one. The United States' initial policy of strongly discouraging, in quotation marks, strongly discouraging citizens from flying proved deadly in its leniency. So they're saying, that...
No, keep going.
Okay,
Read it.
Proved deadly in its leniency.
Again, they were spot on about that. The United States has been incredibly lax on any sort of enforcement of its policies. They've let people fly all over the country, and it's led to disaster. What are we at now? U.S. COVID deaths. Always checking this. We're at almost 400,000 deaths just in the United States. 379,000. Numbers are still going up daily. Great stuff.
So they should have been tougher, right? Accelerating the spread of the virus, not just within the United States, but across borders. However, a few countries did fare better. China in particular. The Chinese government's quick imposition and enforcement of mandatory quarantine for all citizens, as well as its instant and near hermetic sealing off of all borders, saved millions of lives.
And again, even though I don't necessarily believe numbers that come out of China because of the Chinese government's propensity for authoritarian nonsense and just lying in general, sure. But yeah, I also think the Chinese government was probably more effective in controlling the virus after it started spinning out of control and they actually started affecting limits. Because even though it's bad, and I'm saying authoritarianism is bad, it is effective in trying to get the stop of the spread of things like this. Because if the Chinese government, and if you're a Chinese citizen and they say to you, you've been exposed, you stay in your house for the next 2 weeks, you're gonna do it, and you're not gonna be a dumbass who's like, I'm gonna go to the store and not wear a mask because I got freedom. Because if you do that, you will be killed by the government. Again, I'm not saying that's good. I think there's probably a nice middle ground where people get, like, I don't know, some fines that mean something to them rather than murdering them. But, like, yeah, authoritarianism does end up, like, stopping stuff like this effectively. Now, whether or not you think that that authoritarian measure is a appropriate response to what's happening, that's a different question. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the efficacy of said policy, and I think you'd have to be pretty crazy to assume that that wouldn't work. It would just be morally reprehensible, but it's effective.
Stopping the spread of virus far earlier than in other countries. So the message is here is we have to look towards the Chinese, the oppressive totalitarian. Yeah, Chinese regime as an example of what we need to be doing here. And of course, the ruling class here loves the Chinese regime because they have demonstrated to the ruling class the most efficient form of capitalism, which is authoritarian capitalism. So we have capitalism, but unfortunately we have this veil.
I get it.
We have this veil of democracy.
This is very interesting. This is continue on.
Okay. China's government was not the only one that took extreme measures to protect its citizens from risk and exposure. During the pandemic, national leaders around the world flexed their muscles, flexed their authority, and imposed airtight rules and restrictions. You can see the agenda.
Okay, go.
Okay. From the mandatory wearing of face masks.
It's not an agenda. They're describing effective methods of mitigating transmission.
To body temperature checks at the entries to communal spaces like
that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, but soon it's going to be like body.
It'll be at the subway.
Yeah,
well, is that what you're saying? We'll be going through this in the sub to get on the buses and the subway, things like that.
And what this means though is don't think about having a cigarette, a joint on you, or basically you can't. This is a dragnet for everything. So if in order for you
in other words, just like with stop and frisk, this is ultimate stop and frisk.
This is the ultimate cavity stop and frisk, cavity search kind of thing. All right, so during the pandemic, national leaders around the world flex their authority. They're now there's some good stuff. Listen to this. And even supermarkets, they want body checks at supermarkets, okay? So basically...
Good? Don't go to a supermarket sick while there's a global pandemic? Am I supposed to be like, oh no, they're gonna check my temperature? Okay? If you're sick, don't go in.
What they're saying is they're building a system where every move you make, you gotta go through them.
You can't get food. Well, how about if you go to the farmer's market?
Right. Here's the good stuff now.
How about you order your food online? I get delivery groceries now. It's fine. There's a pandemic.
I mean, it just keeps getting better. Even after the pandemic faded, this more authoritarian control and oversight of citizens and their activities stuck and even intensified. That's the whole point. So they're going to get rid of...
Didn't that happen already with 9/11?
Of course.
9/11 was how many, 14 years ago, and we still have all these draconian
so
rules.
They're going to put the body cavity
USA
searches
Patriot
in.
and all
That's right.
stuff.
So in order to get to a supermarket, you got to have a body cavity search, and then when there's no more Ebola, well, you know what? We kind of like this way because we have an complete infrastructure of...
Did he just say that he thinks that it'll start with temperature checks and it'll end with them checking your butt before you can go into a supermarket? Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to skip back to the guy who's going to comment on this.
All right, this is all part of Divide and Conquer, guys. I'm seeing the same BS that the media is pushing forward to make the opposition really pissed off. All right, so let me go back to the BLM movement because, which is really run by George Soros. If y'all don't know, it's funded by them, which is also a cyber operation. And there's a lot of people that are there willingly and want to do peaceful protests, but guess what? It gets out of control because in the front lines they send CIA operatives. And
how much are they gonna, maybe I'm a little past when I should be asking this, but how much are they going to pay the person at the supermarket who's got to check our butts? Is that a minimum wage job, or does the butt checker get paid a bonus for checking butts all day? Because I've been at the supermarket, and there are a lot of people that I see at the supermarket that I would not want to look into their butts. Most of them, honestly, I don't want to look in anyone's butt. So, I don't know. Just saying.
Tifa members, I mean, this is a tactic that the CIA and PSYOP operation have been using since forever because they don't want no peaceful protest. I mean, it doesn't bring the agenda that the government wants to push. So they use this.
Next thing you know, the butt checkers not gonna, change their gloves between every check, and all of a sudden we got a syphilis pandemic. I'm just saying. Watch the butt checkers. Who checks the butt checker's butt? Something to think about, okay?
To create
Oh, someone else made the joke as soon as I said that. Logarth said it. That always happens.
Movement and distract people from certain situations.
Undercover forces are sent into situations to stir up crowds, instigate violence, raise tensions, and justify the next move on the chessboard, whether that be the toppling of the government or the delegitimization of peaceful protest. And time again, with controlled media organizations on hand to document the events in a biased and uncritical manner, these engineered crises have helped these operatives accomplish their mission.
What were they covering up through the whole situation with, the whole Ghislaine Maxwell situation, the whole Epstein situation? A lot of things were being covered up. I mean, they completely forgot about the COVID-19 during the BLM movement and, these riots. And obviously they were trying to cover up the Jeffrey Epstein shit that was going on, this big pedo ring that was being exposed. So just like the CIA created the BLM movement, they created KID.
The CIA created the BLM movement? Seems like a weird thing for them to create a movement that they then infiltrate and try and tear apart because they don't like it. Seems a little hypocritical, but okay.
So they could group people into these categories. So they could just have a narrative into shutting everybody's ideals down. So if people wanted to say some truth, they could call it conspiracy theories. They could call it this and that. This is where all the fact checkers came in. And
if fact checkers become your enemy, then recognize that facts are somehow a threat to you. And if facts become a threat to you, then you're probably spreading lies and conspiracy theories. Rethink your positions in that case.
Shit, it just happens.
That's right.
By putting you in this category, they're going to put you as a danger to national security. They're going to say that you're inciting riots. So basically, what I'm trying to say, while everybody's fighting each other, these governments are creating new laws to fucking silence us. And
hold on. Right now, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who has bragged about her desire to carry a weapon on Capitol Hill, is currently in a standoff with Capitol Police at the newly installed metal detectors outside the chamber doors. Boebert walked through with her bag, which set off the mags. She refused to offer the bag over to be searched and is now in a standoff with Capitol Police. Capitol Police won't let her in until Boebert shows them what's in her bag. She won't and is now standing by the entrance of the chamber. She's respectful but defiant. Boebert has now been let into the chamber. It was unclear from my vantage point if Capitol Police searched her bag before she went in. They better have searched her bag. Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
Oppress us even more. This is not something new, man. I'm just telling y'all, this has been happening. So what I seen in the Capitol, man, is just the same thing. It's just the roles reversed. Now everybody's basically being led in.
Yeah, the cops are very fucking sus here. But it's not because it's a psyop, it's because a lot of cops are secretly white supremacists and Trump supporters.
These people, obviously they're mostly Caucasian. Why are they being let in? If we were being shot up, if it was the other way around, it would have been different. I mean, that's the big controversy in the media, so they can just keep dividing. Everything is about dividing people, man. Everything. There is no real investigative journalism anymore in this country. Everything is about fact checkers. If you want to have freedom of speech now, everything you're going to be shut down.
People keep fact checking me, and that means I'm being silenced. Oh, you actually have a YouTube channel, and we're watching it right now. Yeah, but people aren't letting me get away with lying, so this is silencing me. Stop lying.
This is a big problem, guys. Even if you hate Donald Trump, you hate anybody that wants to speak your mind. I mean, you have the right to freedom of speech. I mean, this is one of the fundamentals of this country is freedom of speech. But now, there's a lot of we are going to be oppressed big time, guys. We are in the midst of being oppressed big time, guys.
We're getting banned from Twitter for espousing Nazi ideology and trying to overthrow the government. It's literally fascism to try and stop our fascist takeover of the government.
Because you're fighting each other, whether you're in the left or right, you're fighting each other, and it's not going to work, man, unless we come together, and it's not going to happen. We're being gaslighted into fucking hating each other, man. And if we just keep going on fighting each other, you know, as American people, and honestly, guys, I don't know where this is going to end, because people are still going to keep fighting each other, going against each other. I mean, it's basically human nature. But they're using this against us into them basically taking most of our rights away without us even questioning nothing.
Which rights? Is it your right to not be fact-checked? Because that's not a right. Is it your right to have a Twitter? That's not a right. What rights do you think have been taken away from you?
So blind to see that this new world order is actually happening, and you think it's just a conspiracy theory. You're out of your damn mind. You're out of your damn mind. We're just scratching the surface with all this BS that they're showing us in the media. So when y'all ask me what would I think about the stuff that's going on in the media, it's just propaganda, guys. Propaganda. They've been using this. It's the same thing. They try to brainwash us, and obviously we try to ignore it, but it happens. I mean, and we can't convince everybody. We have family members that they probably think you're a nut, but they're just conditioned. We've been conditioned to think a certain way. Unless we unwind ourselves, step out of this matrix, and realize that we are in some sort of, you know, mental slavery state, and just escape what we've been programmed to believe this whole time, and we just gotta fucking think for ourselves for once, basically. But
we gotta think for ourselves. So don't listen to fact checkers or the news guys. Just come to my YouTube channel and I'll tell you all about the deep state CIA conspiracies. Hooray! Think for yourself though, as long as it agrees with what I have to say on my YouTube channel.
You know, it's all about right now about politics. You know, that's why I hate politics, guys, because politics is just BS.
I hate politics. Now here's my 20-minute video on how the New World Order is going to take away your rights with fact checkers.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what president is going to be in the office. They don't run shit. It's just disturbing to me that it's come to this point and people haven't been woken yet. But hopefully 2021, more people will be awakened. But, you know, it's going to get a lot harder to try to share information now and try to awaken people, because big tech companies are going to try to silence freedom of speech. All the robots, including...
Freedom of speech doesn't protect you from a private company not letting you on their platform. Freedom of speech literally means the government can't put you in jail or confiscate your printing press.
YouTube, everywhere I try to post, they're monitoring everything I say. If they don't like it, they could just delete my channel. They could delete this. I mean, do you understand the type of world that we're coming to, guys? I mean, it's ridiculous. Once we question something, here come the fact checkers to silence us.
I've still not had it explained how being fact check is silencing you. Your original thing still stands. It's just someone else coming in and being like, actually, here are things that you got wrong, and here are citations for why you're wrong. That's not being silenced. That's you wanting to silence someone who comes and corrects you. So you're trying to silence someone. It's always projection. Every single time.
It's just the world of oppression is real, guys. Y'all gotta fucking wake up and say...
People pointing out my lies is oppression.
And see the bigger picture, man. It's not about left or right wing, man. We gotta see who the real enemy is, guys. I hope I made...
The real enemy was facts all along.
Sense in some type of way. I mean, there's a lot more things I could say, but I want to keep ranting too much. But anyway, yeah, man. So this is Emily for the 713. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna see you on the next one, guys. Bam.
I'm gonna call he be tripping. He be tripping. That's the QAnon stuff. That's the QAnon stuff for the day. Bit messages. Let's get to bit messages.